Hello, 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 hello. Welcome back to Down the Rabbit Hole. Today, we're going to be talking about the Peirce Victorian Mansion in Massachusetts. Now, I actually want to point out this is a podcast where we talk about history, paranormal activity, and many odd topics that we can go down the rabbit hole and discuss. If you're new here, hit that like button, ring that bell for notifications. Also, please subscribe, help a girl out. Excuse me. But with that being said, why don't we dive into today's episode, shall we? The Sylvester Pierce was this wealthy businessman who achieved his fortune as the owner of the S.K. Pierce and Sons Furniture Company. The success of the company in the furniture industry led to the Gardner, Massachusetts being known as the Chair City. Now, it's important to note, in the late 1880s, Pierce decided that he would build a mansion, but befitting a man of his public stature. And the mansion was a marvel for is time. It was 7,000 square feet, and it boasted 10 bedrooms. It took 100 men a year and half to build. And a half to build. Now, there's a hand carved molding of chronicles that are seen throughout the home. Painstaking details were used to create every inch of this masterpiece, from the bedroom to the servants' quarters to the guest list, from the ages as the home is said to have been hosted like this likes of President Calvin Coolidge and Minnesota Fats, Bette Davis, P.T. Vernon, and Norman Rockwell, while also serving as a well-known meeting place for the Freemason Society as well. Now, Pierce, his wife Susan, and their son had this dream of moving into a one-of-a-kind mansion, but their dreams fell apart when Susan mysteriously died to a bacterial illness just weeks after moving in. And after a year of mourning, Pierce would marry Ellen Pierce, a woman 30 years his junior, whom he had two children with. Pierce passed away in 1888, leaving behind his new wife and his three sons. Now, while Ellen passed away years later, the sons bickered constantly over the ownership of the mansion in the chair business. Now, the Great Depression ended up stifling the business, and eventually SK's youngest son, Edward, took control of the mansion. And the mansion would undergo hard times as the family's fortune began to dwindle, and Edward turned the mansion into a boarding home, while where some unsavory activities such as drinking, gambling, and prostitution became the norm. So there was even tale of a murder that has happened, and everything. Okay, anyway, now it is said that a prostitute was strangled in the infamous red bedroom of the second floor, while another boarder, a Finnish immigrant named Elio Sari, burned to death in the master bedroom in 1963. Some believe that this was a spontaneous combustion, as there was little damage to the surrounding room. And another story has it said that a young boy drowned in the basement. Now, one of the consequential years, guests of the mansion have suggested that there is a rich has paranormal activity. There's the ghost of the famous S.K. Pierce itself, Susan Pierce, Edward Pierce, and as well as a nanny named Maddie Cornwell. Interesting. So, a gentleman by the name of David, who is believed to have been the Red Room Strangler, the prostitute who was murdered in the room, a young boy, and a young girl who perhaps was the granddaughter of Pierce, Eleanor Sari, and some named dark entities of the basement, and have been described as some of the mansion's many ghostly residents. Now, guests have also experienced everything from voices chanting, full body apparitions, moving furniture, screams flying off windows, slamming doors, the sounds of footsteps in the halls, and a sudden temperature change, foul odors, shadow people, and the ominous lion's roar, which um which can be shake the house, with many who believe that the former Mr. Peirce is imposing his displeasure with the current state of the home and its residents. Now, others have felt a pressure of hands actually pushing them. One visitor felt that the presence was attempting to push her down in the steps, while another was almost forced to a third floor window. Now, paranormal experts said that the entities in the mansion are the most advanced and they have ever seen, and they also are capable of harassing electrical energy and converting that power into the ability to move large objects and impose their will physically on the current surroundings. Now, the previous homeowners have taken great strides in uncovering the secrets of this house, and well-known paranormal groups such as Ghost Hunters, Ghost Adventures, and My Ghost Story have visited the home to learn more about the surroundings, and the story of this home has been captured in many books, such as The Haunted Massachusetts and Bones Basement, Surviving the S.K. Pierce Haunted Mansion as well. And the house has been cited number two on the most haunted house in Massachusetts and ninth most haunted house in the U.S. So, in 2015, the Dark Carnival acquired this property with the intent to fully revitalize this once great Victorian and restoring it to its beauty in the centerpiece in the neighborhood as it once was. Now, once the renovations was complete, the Dark Carnival will open it to the public for overnight rentals and all of that. So, this is very fun. It's on my travel bucket list already, as y'all already know, and everything. So, with that being said, that is it for this episode. And join me next time as we talk about our 100th episode, might I add. And it's going to be the town in Shasta Mountain. And I'll see y'all next